وانشر علينا من رحمتك وأنزل علينا من بركاتك رحم الله من يقرأ الفاتحة بنيتهم مع الإخلاص والصلوات.
They came here today to scatter rose petals on this broken mountain high above the city of Kabul. These are the survivors and the relatives of the victims of what Afghanis call the Afshar massacre. Some of the worst atrocities of the Mujahideen wars of the early 90s happened here in South Kabul. Suburbs were reduced to rubble, thousands of civilians were killed and wounded, and 500,000 people displaced as ethnic and religious armies fought for the capital. Before gathering at this mass grave site, they sat in quiet reverie at their mosque as the falsetto chants of their holy men reverberated off the piles of rubble that once were their homes, shops and offices. On just one day here in Afshar, up to 1,000 people were killed. Of more than 1,200 who were detained, just 150 were released, only because their wealthier families could buy their freedom. Homes were looted and destroyed in the relentless shelling. It's hard to comprehend the depth of their grief and pain as they see the people that they believe were to be the perpetrators of this and other atrocities voting in their new democratic parliament to absolve themselves of any responsibility for what happened. Where are the people who committed these atrocities now?
Still they are one of the most potential elements in the government.
Their story is so overwhelming that they tell it only in the boldest of terms, but they keep coming back to a single question. Why? Why us? Why did nobody help us 14 years ago? Why does nobody help us now? And why are the perpetrators seemingly allowed to get away with what they did? Mohammad Kazim Akgar is a Kabul journalist. He speaks of the Mujahideen as butchers, telling the mosque crowd, "They made our blood run like water in the streets. They're still alive, but no one dares to arrest them because of their power."
They are still continuing their crimes.
Ahmed Ali Kargar pleads for the president to back their demands. He tells the people, "It was the blackest time for us. We have to know who did this to us, and we have to know why our government will not help us now. They treat us as if we are not Afghans." Colonel Azadullah begins quietly, but his voice rises till it breaks. "You are the living witnesses," he says. "You know the history of the death and torture of our men and the rape of our women. Only 72 bodies are buried in our mass grave because we could not find the others in the rubble." He pauses here to compose himself, but he goes on. "Apart from having no money, the fear of uncovering the dead is one of the reasons why so few of our homes have been rebuilt. Who will be held responsible for this?" he asks. And while you were in prison, what happened?
I was tortured. I was very badly tortured by those people.
The Afghan people and human rights groups are demanding war crimes investigations as part of a process of national reconciliation. But many of the old warlords hold powerful positions in the new Afghanistan, and they control the parliament, where they have forced through a bill to exonerate themselves of any wrongdoing. There is deep anxiety about how President Hamid Karzai will respond. He has publicly defended some of the accused as honourable men. And do you think the government is fence-sitting, or do you think that it will
Well, we're still waiting for the president to come and make a proper and clear public statement about the charter or resolution passed by the lower house. However, his spokesperson indicated that the president would not ignore in any way the rights of the victims.
They must be hanged. They are not forgivable. They must be hanged.